Good afternoon. I'm Janella Precious with the Midday News and a special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com. We begin with news that the St. Catharines South Police says the uncle of a teenager who is now in police custody in relation to the fatal shooting of his schoolmate yesterday in Portmore Pines will be the subject of an investigation. 16-year-old Daniel Ray of a Greater Portmore address was fatally shot in the head with a licensed firearm. The firearm belongs to the uncle of the 16-year-old boy in custody. The police say the teenager is to be further questioned in the presence of his attorney and parents. Reports are that shortly before 4 o'clock, the teen in custody invited Daniel to his house where he was shot. The St. James Police are probing the circumstances surrounding the death of an unidentified male whose body was found on Park Avenue in Montego Bay on Wednesday. He is of a dark complexion, clad in a blue shirt and gray pants, and is about 175 centimeters. It is reported that a passerby stumbled upon the body and alerted the Barnett Street Police. The body was in a state of decomposition. The police are asking anyone with information that can assist them in their investigation or to identify this body to contact the Montego Bay CIB at 876-953-619, police 119 number, or the nearest police station. A major contract was signed this morning at the Ministry of Justice, which is expected to aid in matters at the family court. TVJ Jamal Khashoggi was there and filed this report.
Thank you. One of the main highlights from this morning's press briefing is the signing of a $50 million contract for the Kingston and St. Andrew Family Court Attendance Center, which was destroyed by fire.
So this contract will see the construction of a containerized approach to the creation of the justice, the Family Court Attendance Center. And what the Family Court Attendance Center is a facility designed for skills training for children in conflict with the law. So the two skill sets that we have been teaching there historically, were sewing and carpentry. But at this facility, we'll also have a computer room, we'll have library, we'll have a space for the children to interact, and the administrative services that go along with it. So children are referred to the attendance center by the family court judges, and they go there and they're given useful skills, things that they can take back into the community.
And of course, we will have more this evening in Primetime News at 7. Reporting from the Ministry of Justice, I'm Shamela Pullen for TVJ News.
Thank you, Shamela. More development plans are in the pipeline for the island's aerodromes. Transport Minister Robert Montague pointed to the upcoming development at Wednesday's signing ceremony for the privatization of the Norman Manley International Airport in Kingston. According to Mr. Montague, the 25-year agreement with the Mexican airport entity GAP, the local airport agency is now better able to focus on other improvements.
The Airports Authority of Jamaica can now focus its resources on managing the Sandstone and Norman Manley concession, as well as the government's other airports and aerodromes. And soon, very soon, exciting news will be announced about the upgrading of some of our aerodromes. The government is committed to general aviation and its expansion.
Now, under the agreement with GAP, the Norman Manley International Airport is to see major infrastructural improvements, including the expansion of its runways. Councillor for the Santa Cruz Division, Christopher Williams, has apologized and retracted statements he made on Tuesday at the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation. The apology averted a second walkout by PNP councillors. On Tuesday, Councillor Williams referred to Member of Parliament for St. Elizabeth Northeast, Evan Redmond, as, quote, wicked and vindictive, unquote, during the Infrastructure Committee meeting. The remarks sparked tension between the People's National Party, PNP, and Jamaica Labour Party, JLP councillors. As a result, PNP members walked out of the meeting. Minority Leader Everton Fisher had said if there was no apology, the PNP members would not participate in the following monthly meeting of the Municipal Corporation.
It is saying to us that, we have been taken for granted for far too long. There are other issues, but I believe this issue must be addressed. And until it is addressed, the minority caucus will not cooperate, as we normally do.
The Bustamante Industrial Trade Union BITU is reporting that the process has started for it to secure the rights to represent some of the employees on the Mandela Highway Improvement Project. We have more in this report.
The workers who recently went on strike to advocate for better wages and working conditions are now seeing a glimmer of hope. This comes as the BITU recently received the rights to represent the workers. Vice President of the BITU, Alden Brown, spoke with our news center.
At that meeting, we demonstrated them that we had signed documents and signed forms from the workers. And as a representative of the workers, we are putting this on the table for acceptance. Acceptance would mean that the company accepts the form signed by the workers and hence started to deduct dues from the workers. So not to go to the ministry of labor, but the company can accede to that request and start deducting dues from the workers. The lawyers promised that they would have sent a document to us in that relative, and today Thursday I'm not seeing that yet on the email.
He elaborated on the category of tech workers now being represented and what this means for their benefits.
These are the workers who move the heavy equipment, and it is to be in fact, I think it's 28 of the heavy equipment movers there. What happens next is that we expect that the workers will know the fields for their time and a half done after 8 hours work each day, and then weekends they'll get their time and a half on double time after 40 hours of work.
He also outlined the agreed improvements for working conditions.
Yes, bathroom water, adequate protective gears, payslip, and worksheet have also been decided on. So what we have is that the workers will come to work today, and at the end of the day or at the end of the week, they themselves don't know how many hours they have worked and what they'll be paid for. But you can know that without you have a pay slip, a pay advice, or a worksheet. And that is what we stress to the lawyer and the HR representative. And it was agreed on.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
Additional medical personnel have been assigned to the Kitson Town Health Center in St. Catherine as part of efforts to improve health care, especially in rural areas. Health Minister and Member of Parliament for St. Catherine West Central, Dr. Christopher Tufton, made the announcement at Wednesday's official reopening ceremony. He says the added staff will help with additional services of mental and oral health care. Residents say it's a much-needed improvement for the fast-growing population in Kitson Town.
I have my mother, we cannot see, and I'm not living too far. And it is so hackling to take her to Spanish Town. You have to get the car and she cannot see. Well, this is so great for care right here, because some of the time it takes enough money to bring her to Spanish Town. So what Dr. Tufton do today, it is so joyful and great. I cannot find word to say about it. It is so nice.
For a very long time, we need a very good health center. But now I met with the MP before he was an MP, and now it has come to fruition that we have seen and accept the facility that he has built.
The Manchester police are seeking the public's assistance in unraveling a robbery which took place at a travel agency in Mandeville Tuesday afternoon. Police reports are that about 2:30, 3 men posing as clients entered the agency, then proceeded to rob the 3 female workers. Jewelry, cell phones, and an undisclosed sum of money were taken. The men locked the women inside the bathroom before making their escape. No one was injured. Anyone with information that can aid with the arrest of the perpetrators has been asked to contact the Mandeville Police Station at 962-2250 or Police Emergency 911. We go now to news overseas. After slamming Florida and lashing Georgia, Michael is far from finished as it swirls northeast, threatening the Carolinas. Since making landfall on Wednesday as a powerful Category 4 hurricane, the now tropical storm has left at least 2 people dead. We have the details from the CNN.
I still can't believe it.
People in the Florida Panhandle are taking in the toll of Hurricane Michael.
It's a lot of loss. I mean, thank goodness everybody else is safe.
Florida took a direct hit Wednesday from the historic storm.
Hurricane Michael is the worst storm that the Florida Panhandle has ever seen, and one of the worst power storms to ever make landfall in the United States.
Winds of up to 155 miles per hour tore through trees, power lines, and buildings like this one. The family business Brandon Troop and his wife Sydney planned on opening this weekend. Now gone.
Really an eye-opener on, taking things like this serious.
Officials now focusing on recovery and helping those affected by the storm.
We're turning 100% of our focus on search and rescue.
But it's not just Florida. Michael is now the first major hurricane to track into Georgia since 1898. As the storm makes its way north and east, thousands of customers across Georgia and Alabama have lost power. And now parts of South Carolina, under tropical storm watch, brace for possible flooding.
And then you're going to see rainfall through South and North Carolina, and dumping 4 to 6 inches of rain in rivers that are already saturated and haven't really receded much from Florence a couple weeks ago.
Still overseas, the United States has excerpts of Saudi officials discussing a plan to lure a missing journalist back to Saudi Arabia and detain him. That's according to a U.S. official familiar with the intelligence. Here's more from the CNN.
4 fateful steps and he is gone. The last moments Jamal Khashoggi was seen alive in public, entering the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, October 2nd. That was at 1:14 p.m. on Tuesday. What happened over the next hour and 3/4 remains at the centre of this mystery, core to the investigation. At a little after 3 p.m, several consular vehicles were seen leaving the consulate. The question now, was Khashoggi in one of those vehicles? And if so, was he alive? The vehicles pull away just after 3 in the afternoon, arriving minutes later at the Consul General's house nearby. The dark-windowed van disappears from view into the compound. These tantalizing CCTV recordings leaked to Turkish media have Turkish investigators scratching their heads. How could Khashoggi just disappear? Their investigations are being hampered. Saudi officials had promised access to the consulate hidden behind a high razor-wire top wall. But now Turkish officials say the Saudis are not cooperating. Piling on the pressure, a Turkish pro-government national newspaper has published names and pictures of 15 Saudi men who Turkish officials confirmed to CNN are persons of interest in Khashoggi's disappearance.
We go now to sports. Reggae Girls assistant coach Andrew Price says the spirits are high in the team ahead of their match against Cuba in the 2018 CONCACAF Women's Championship today. The girls currently sit third following their 1-0 win over Costa Rica on Monday, and a win against Cuba today could see them book their spot in the semi-finals of the championship.
Tournament, we already decided that we needed 6 points to get to the semi-final round, so we have to go out and win this Cuba game. So we're putting ourselves in that mindset to go out there and go for a victory. The tempo and the feeling in the club is that it's good. Everybody's upbeat, everybody's ready to go. Everybody wants to go out there. There could be some rotations tomorrow because we want to have the freshest legs out there. But all in all, we're going out there for the victory tomorrow. And we want to get this game out of the way so we can move on to the semifinals.
And Coach Price says the victory over Costa Rica was a sign of true determination from Jamaica's ladies.
I think that the ladies showed true grit and determination in beating Costa Rica after losing to the number 5 ranked Canada. I think they really played dogged in that game. They really showed a lot of fight. They showed a lot of character. And, we're happy that we won the game.
It was another disappointing day for Jamaica's swim star Emily McDonald at the Youth Olympic Games in Buenos Aires, Argentina, after she failed to get out of her heat in the girls' 50 freestyle event this morning. McDonald, who lined up in lane 4 of heat 4, had the fastest qualifying time of the field, coming in with 26.44 seconds. However, that form failed to show as she finished back of the pack in 7th with a time of 27.51. position, well behind the winner, Christy Chu of Singapore, who won in 26.83 seconds. McDonald's time ranked her 33rd of 53 competitors, with only the top 16 advancing. She was the second disappointment. This was the second disappointment, in a matter of days for the 15-year-old who ended 39th of 45 competitors in the 100-meter freestyle event on Sunday. And that's the Midday News. I'm Janella Precious. Join us at 7 for Primetime News. On behalf of the entire team, good afternoon.